The draft is 1 week from today, and Mahomes cannot keep doing it all by himself or mostly by himself on the offensive side of the ball. The draft is where the Chiefs can get Mahomes the help he needs to put this team on another level to go back and win a Super Bowl in 2025. I'm your host, Gary McKenzie. Welcome to RGR Football. Glad you're here. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. And as always, if you like the content and you feel so obliged, make sure to hit the like button. But I want to talk about the draft upcoming and the way the Chiefs team has been constructed the past several years. For the past 3 or 4 years, the Chiefs have focused on a defensive approach. Ever since they got rid of Tyreek Hill, they traded Hill, got a ton of draft picks, picked up McDuffie, Karlaftis, all kinds of pieces on their defensive side of the ball. They've been a defensive team that plays solid defense and wins championships, or at least gets to the Super Bowl. I still believe that Patrick Mahomes plus a top 5 defense will get you in the Super Bowl every year unless some crazy fluke happens in the playoffs. That formula is still going to stand. What I will say is the past 2 seasons, more has been asked of Mahomes on the offensive side of the ball than at any other time in his career. And I am of the belief it is time in this draft to find more pieces to take more pressure off Mahomes. That way he is not carrying the load again. Now, 2018, 2019 were 2 unbelievable seasons for the Chiefs in terms of their receiver personnel. They had 2 Hall of Fame candidates catching the ball, Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Those 2 were an unstoppable force. But the thing about 2018 and 2019 that often get overlooked are just how efficient Kareem Hunt and Damian Williams were for the Chiefs, especially down the stretch for Damian Williams. The running back position in 2018 was the best it's been in Kansas City since Mahomes has been the quarterback, the starting quarterback for the team. Kareem Hunt goes and does a bonehead maneuver and then gets kicked off the team. He is banished to Cleveland for a number of years. The Chiefs front staff believes he's had enough punishment in Cleveland. He comes back to Kansas City and almost totally redeems himself, but he couldn't pull out the win in the Super Bowl. So maybe he gets his opportunity in 2025, but I do believe that the running back position for the Chiefs is very important, and the NFL works in cycles. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I want to get through this history of Mahomes. So 2018, 2019, awesome receiving core. Chiefs could do no wrong offensively. 2020, 2021 roll around. The Chiefs take Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round, and people were grimacing at this pick. You don't take a running back in the first round in the NFL. That's what everyone always says. All the experts, all the pundits say, don't take a running back in the first round. The Chiefs did just that. Their offense takes a step back, even though they still have Kelce and Hill leading the charge. But even though they took a step back, they were still pretty damn good. Moving on to 2022, 2023, 2024. 2022 was the fluke year. The last year Eric Bieniemy was the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. They had Pacheco at running back, Kelce still at the tight end position, and then Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdes-Scantling catching passes, and their offensive line wasn't too bad, and they were number 1 offense in the NFL. I consider this year to be an outlier. Then Bieniemy leaves, Matt Nagy comes back, becomes the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. And the last 2 seasons, it feels as though Mahomes has been asked to shoulder this team more so than any other time during his tenure in Kansas City. And why is he shouldering the team? In 2023, it was because Rashee Rice was a rookie at the time, was learning the ropes, and Marquez Valdes-Scantling was a second receiver on a team where Scantling should never have been a second receiver. He is maybe third, number 3 receiver at best. back then in 2023, and same goes forward now. Like, Marquez Valdes-Scantling is what he is. He's not going to give you huge numbers, but he should not be put in a position to be a number 2 receiver. Last year, Mahomes had to shoulder the load because of injuries. So the Chiefs had what I felt was a pretty good plan. We're going to roll with Pacheco at running back. We're going to keep Kelsey at tight end, obviously. And then we're going to do a bit of a committee approach. We drafted a pretty speedy wide receiver. We're going to put Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy on the outside or in the slot. Wherever they are, they're going to stretch the defense vertically, and then we're going to have Kelsey and Rashee Rice just chew up the underneath. That was a good plan, in my opinion, and I still think that's a good plan. So that's what the Chiefs are going to rock with in 2025. However, I think there's a weakness in this position grouping for the Chiefs. Not the wide receiver position. It's the tight end position and the running back position. I think the Chiefs are pretty strong at wide receiver now, especially after Rashee Rice serves his suspension. If he comes back healthy and like he was before, this team is going to be fine at the wide receiver position next year. I'm worried about Kelsey taking a step back, losing production there, and I'm worried about Pacheco's ankle. Ever since his injury, it seemed as though he missed a step, and I don't think Elijah Mitchell, who is far removed from having a productive year, is the guy. So I want to go back and ask that question again. How can we take some of this weight off of Mahomes' shoulders? I think 2024 was an unfair ask for him to do what he did, and he still willed the Chiefs team to the Super Bowl last year, even though they lost. So what can we do? What can the Chiefs front office do to help Mahomes? Well, they've already done one thing, two things. They signed Elijah Mitchell. They brought Hollywood Brown back. And then they tried to fill the gap at left tackle, but we'll see how that pans out. You usually aren't, finding a long-term left tackle starter for what they paid Jalen Moore. So that means the last place the Chiefs can get Mahomes the help he needs is in the draft. And I'm going to say something that is probably going to frustrate a lot of you, but I think that the NFL runs in cycles. In 2019, in 2020, when the Chiefs drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think that was a bad idea. I think the Chiefs were a little ahead of the curve. They thought maybe the running back position would make some of a resurgence because of the way defenses were changing and playing more cover 2, shell defenses, deep coverage. And they thought maybe if they got a really good running back, they could tear up with the running game and then open more holes for Mahomes down the field. Fast forward to 2024, and you look at the teams in the NFL that made the playoffs and the team that won the Super Bowl all had a very strong rushing attack. I think the Chiefs have options with their first-round pick. And one of those options might be, I know you don't want to hear it, might be the running back position. I think in terms of positioning for the Chiefs, in terms of positions on the roster, the two positions that will relieve the most burden from Mahomes and take more off his shoulders, the most off his shoulders are 1, left tackle, and 1B, running back. So my hierarchy for the Chiefs at 31, at pick 31 overall, will be if Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, falls to the Chiefs at 31, the Chiefs pull that trigger. You have to take Josh Simmons in that case. If any other left tackle with a strong pedigree falls to the Chiefs at 31, you have to take them. However, I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't think that a strong caliber starting left tackle is going to fall to 31 for the Chiefs. If the Chiefs want to go get a left tackle, they're going to have to trade up in the draft. And I don't like the Chiefs trading up in this draft. I want them to stay where they are. I like that they have 2 third-round picks. I like their first 4 picks I think are going to be a good chance to make this roster and contribute to this team. I don't want them trading up and getting rid of some of those picks to land a left tackle. unless, Josh Simmons is sitting there at like 24 and they don't have to give up a whole lot of capital to get him. 1B is the running back position. And I know that I mentioned that I like Bashal Tootin in round 4 or 5, and I still hold to that. However, I've started coming around to this idea that since the NFL does work in cycles, maybe the running back position is more important than it used to be, and I need to recalibrate my thinking. And I'm leaning towards this idea that the NFL has shifted. It's moving in its cycles like it always has. And maybe this hyper passing era that we've been in is changing. The landscape is changing. And it's important to pair a good running back with that passing attack. And that is why, after reviewing a lot of running back tape, for running backs that might be taken at 31 overall, I have fallen in love with Omarian Hampton from North Carolina. 6 foot, 220, very good 40 time, explosive, powerful. He's not Ashton Giante. He is his own person. And I really like this player out of North Carolina. This is a rare case where I would be okay with the Chiefs taking a running back in the first round. If Hampton falls to the Chiefs and he's there at 31 and Joshua Simmons is not there, I want them to take Hampton. I know many of you will disagree with this. Let me know down in the comments if you disagree with that, which you might. But the way I'm seeing the way the NFL is changing, I think the running back position is going to be more valuable. I want to take some weight off of Mahomes' shoulders, and I think the way to do that is 1 left tackle, 2 running back. You can find an awesome running back in the first round at 31, and I think Hampton will be a very good running back and will be a very good running back for the Chiefs if they were to take him. Option 2 for me, after that, you're not necessarily taking weight off Mahomes' shoulders in this case, but you are revamping and improving your defense. If a pass rusher is there at 31 that kind of fell down the board somehow, like a Jalen Carter situation, then the Chiefs should take that option too. But I'm excited for the draft. And I want to know in the comments how you guys feel about Omarian Hampton, how you feel about the idea of the Chiefs going back to the well and taking a running back again in the first round, even after the Clyde Edwards-Helaire disaster. Let me know. But that's my stance. Option 1 for the Chiefs to take the weight off Mahomes' shoulders is left tackle. Option 2, running back. And then if neither of those are available, then I think pass rusher is always a winning decision at the first round pick if a guy falls to you that you like. But that's my take. I am planting my flag firmly in the ground that the running back position is making a comeback in the NFL. It's going to be valued more and more as the years go on. And teams like the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles were not a fluke. If you can run the ball, you're going to find some success in the NFL going forward with the way that defenses are playing. It's all in the works. I can see it coming. So that's my take. Let me know if you hate me in the comments. But this is Gary signing out. 1 week until the draft. I am very excited. Let's go Chiefs. And hopefully Brett Veach and Andy Reid are burning that midnight oil and finding that guy, that perfect piece to take the weight off Mahomes' shoulders going into 2025. Y'all take it easy.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.